Καλησπέρα.
My name is Aphrodite and we came all the way from Kalivia to talk to you about zero food waste. Every single year, almost 1/3 of the food produced in the world is thrown away when it could feed lots of people in need. Moreover, huge quantities of food are lost along the supply chain in warehouses, food processing companies, supermarkets, and restaurants. But believe it or not, most of the food waste happens in our homes. Moving on, here you can see, according to the World Population Review for 2022, the countries with the most annual food waste. First in the pyramid, we have China with 91 million tons. And due to the huge number, China has started to educate its pupils in order to reduce that amount. Second, we have India with 68 million tons. And in third goes the USA with 19 million. The next slide, you can see the areas where food waste occurs. Firstly, we have primary sector, which is agriculture and goods directly from nature. After, we have manufacturing sector, food factories, etc. Wholesale and retail sector, supermarket, food markets. And in the last two sectors, restaurants and household, are the two that we, as individuals, can take action by altering our behavior and habits. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yamandis, and I'm going to talk about the effects of the food waste on the planet. The continuous production of food contributes to the climate crisis, not only by burning fossil fuels, but also by emitting greenhouse gases. Additionally, by expanding the food industry, many forests are being rapidly destroyed and the water resources are being depleted. Last but not least, the biodiversity of those places suffering. Another interesting piece of information is that food waste costs hundreds of billions euros annually, as well as human potential, energy, and valuable resources. Shocking is also the fact that there are people who die of hunger, and in the rest of the planet, 1/3 of the food ends up in the garbage. Thank you.
Zero food waste is a term that describes an alternative holistic lifestyle whereby no food cooked or raw goes to waste, but is instead consumed in every single possible way. Now, moving on to the timeline of events that led to this presentation. In the beginning, in October, we established our team and assigned tasks and organized weekly meetings. In November, we gathered information from the internet and also interviewed the local businesses about zero food waste. In December, we participated in a webinar with a local food bank called Borume, which provides great help to people in need in our area. In January, we created surveys for our research, gathered answers, and carried out a statistical analysis of our results. In February, we installed a compost bin in our school's yard, and we designed our presentation. Now here you can see the webinar that I mentioned earlier with our local food bank. And the compost bin that we installed in our school's backyard. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Aristoteles, and we also went and compiled the results of the aforementioned survey in the following slides. The first question was what they do with the leftover food. Almost everyone answered that they keep it in the fridge and consume it the next day, with the rest split between giving it to stray animals, throwing it in the trash, or offering it to people in need. The next question was whether they consume expired food within 1 or 2 days, with around half choosing this option. Eat it depending on how it looks and its smell, with about 32%, or simply throw it away. The third question was regarding foods with an odd shape or marks as a result of spoilage. In this section, the answers were nearly equally split, with slightly more people throwing the food in the trash instead of cleaning and consuming it. The second to last inquiry was about shopping lists, specifically whether people use one always, sometimes, or never, which most people answered that they almost always make one. Well, lastly, we asked where they think that reducing food waste would help the most. About 40% answered that it would assist the economy the most, with about 20% each that it would help in protecting the environment, conserving natural resources, or limiting climate change. But in fact, all of these answers are correct, as it assists in all these sectors.
Hi, I'm Mario, and I'm going to talk about ways industries could counter food waste. Developing a food loss and waste measuring protocol is necessary. All types of industries should help combat this ever-increasing issue. As a society, we should increase investments in reducing post-harvest losses in developing countries and raise awareness and sensitize civilians who might contribute towards this problem. Also, donating and redistributing food to food banks and outreach groups could help give a second chance to lots of people in need. And here we'll see how restaurants and supermarkets can help. Restaurants should organize the purchases of raw materials better and store their products appropriately so they don't expire before they go bad. Also, they should organize their kitchen, menus, and hold employee briefings about food waste. They should use bags to pack leftovers or use doggy bags to give them to pets or strays. Now, supermarkets should develop contemporary packaging. They should sponsor institutions and non-government organizations in their areas, and they should discount products that are close to their expiration dates. They should raise awareness of their web pages, and they should also educate their staff about food management. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emilia, and I would like to talk a little bit about how we could limit the waste in our daily lives as individuals. Well, firstly, we should plan the meals and the shopping for the week carefully, so we avoid overbuying and overstocking on things we don't actually need. Then we should also always use the leftover food to utilize it in other recipes, so we don't throw it away. We should also pay very close attention to the labels that say use before an expiry date before we buy the actual product. And it's also very important to mention that these dates are actually only a recommendation, and if a product has gone past the expiry date and looks fine to eat, we should have no fear to do so. We should also store the food we buy properly so it doesn't mold or rot before its time. And lastly, we shouldn't underestimate the ugly vegetables and fruit we see at the supermarket, because if we don't buy them, then nobody will. Okay, another industry fact, and something actually quite recent, is that the European Commission has set the 19th of September as the International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste. This will be a wonderful opportunity for schools to educate their students by organizing activities and seminars and stuff like that. Okay, this is our team. We'll work together for this project. Look at us, being so happy. Λες και δεν τσακωθήκαμε 300.000 φορές μέχρι να βγει το project. Okay, now this is the indicative bibliography we used for this project. If you have any questions, we'll be really happy to answer. Otherwise, we would really like to thank you for your attention. Παιδιά, να περνάτε ωραία εδώ που είστε.